Hello everyone, welcome to your online English assistance classes by Upama Miss. So today I'm going to introduce to you all the very famous play of William Shakespeare, that is The Tempest. This is one of his masterpieces and his last written play. This play is very famous because of an array of factors. We will discuss everything in detail, but before we go on a detailed discussion, I feel we should know about the characters, because characters play an important role and often we get confused between the characters and the relationship they do share with each other. And of course, we have seen names are quite common in different dramas written by Shakespeare. So here Antonio is there in The Tempest. Antonio will find there in The Merchant of Venice as well. So in different plays of Shakespeare, you will find the same name is being occurred. So we generally get confused who is whose brother, what type of relationship is there among different characters. So if we know about them beforehand, it will be easier for us to remember and draw a sketch between them, portraying the whole story in front of you. Now the thing is, let us discuss the main plot in a few lines, then directly I'll discuss about the characters. So the main plot here, we will see The Tempest is a story about Prospero, who is the king of Milan, but he has been sent to exile by his brother, Antonio. So with the help of Alonso, who is the king of Naples, and his brother, who is Sebastian. So they were sent to an exile, and by the grace of God, they were somehow saved. They were managed themselves to be on an island safely. There were not only Prospero, but along with him, Miranda, who is Prospero's beloved daughter, present. So both of them now are residing on an island. They were alone, but Prospero can practice his magic powers so nicely that he can evoke anything and everything as per his own wish. So this is the famous power of Prospero's, and that will be very dominating throughout the play. So we will see there will be a shipwreck, and due to this shipwreck, the very characters, those who remain responsible for the devastation caused to Prospero and his daughter, will come into danger. Who are they? They are Alonso, who is the king of Naples, his brother Sebastian, his son Ferdinand. Ferdinand was there with them, but Ferdinand was not at all responsible in causing harm to Prospero and his daughter, because he is quite sensitive, innocent and honest person, and he was not at all involved in such planning and plotting. So Prospero, with the help of his magic, he will make them realize about the misdeeds that they had performed, and with the help of Ariel's agency, he will become successful at last to make them repentant upon the action they did. Okay, and it will we will see at the end everybody is meeting each other, and the sense of reconciliation and repentance will be very dominating towards the end. And this is basically the main plot. And The Tempest means a storm in the sea, which is very important in causing the alienation in the beginning and causing the alignment at the end. So in order to know everything in detail, we need to know about the characters first. So first we will be knowing about the very famous character, that is Miranda. Miranda is who? Miranda is Prospero's daughter. So better to know about Prospero first. So who's Prospero? Prospero was the Duke of Milan, who was known for his goodness and knowledge of liberal arts. So he neglected his duty of governing his kingdom, and he cares for his magic and usage of different magical powers. He was very much fascinated with. So he was banished from his own kingdom by his brother Antonio. Now, Prospero's love for Miranda consoles him and enables him to endure the hardships during his stay on the island. So, Prospero shows his judgment in dealing with people and spirits. He has become more vigilant now than earlier when he was the Duke of Milan, because when he was less responsible about his duty being a duke, he had to face, or he had to go through this sufferings of his. Because of that, he is now there banished, living alone with his daughter on an island. He uses his magic to bring about good results. He causes the shipwreck to being Ferdinand and Gonzalo and also his enemies under his influence. He leads Ferdinand to Miranda. He tried his best to understand the real character of Ferdinand, because he was somehow agreeing with the fact that Ferdinand will be appropriate for his daughter. So he did not become biased. He made him work like anything. He made him undergo all the toils and hardships just to understand his real character and the appropriateness of his as a husband of Miranda. Now, he also frustrates the plot of Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo. Now, he makes Antonio, Sebastian, and Alonso repentant on their actions that they had performed. Having unlimited power to punish his enemies, he believed that virtue is way greater than taking vengeance. Okay, so rarer action lies there. He was a believer of this phrase, and at the end, in the last words in the epilogue, Prospero speaks of mercy, reconciliation, and repentance. So the spirit of forgiveness is also striking quality of Prospero. Now let us know about Miranda. Miranda is young, she is beautiful, and Ferdinand thinks her to be a goddess when he sees her for the first time. And Miranda is an embodiment of sympathy, innocence, and forgiveness. So having seen the shipwreck, she cried a lot and she suffered a lot. The cries of the passenger did knock against her heart, and she became very sad. So she pleads with her father on behalf of Ferdinand, so that Ferdinand should be rescued from the from the hard works he had been given to by Miranda's father. Right? But Miranda is completely free from hypocrisy and deceit. So she is not affected by the sophistication of civilization, and so her innocent nature knows no concealment. Her smiles are a source of comfort to her father. And when she learns from her father that she is a princess by birth, she does not feel regret at having lost of the royal life that she deserves. She falls in love with Ferdinand and she was ready to undergo any type of hardship just to be with Ferdinand. For example, she has no problem in carrying logs also. And her devotion towards her father knows no bound. She was not getting prejudiced against Ferdinand by all the disparaging words of her father about him. Now, let us know about Caliban. Caliban is the son of a witch named Sycorax. In his outward appearance, he has some resemblance of fish, which Trinculo takes him to be. He's a half monster and half human. He is obviously an evil creature and is engaged in wicked projects and uses abusive language. He is regarded as an unconscious anticipation of the evolutionary missing link because because he represents the mankind at the brute stage. We can understand when we see this character Caliban, his bodily appearance is very weird and very horrible because he's a mixture of animal, fish and sometimes man. So this is the actual reality of the society. This is the naked truth which is not at all concealed. So we all are like that, a mixture or a combination of good, bad and different types of proposition present in all of us. But because of our skin, it is not seen directly. It is not distinct from the outer end. But here we have seen Caliban is very raw and it represents the brute stage of mankind. Caliban is not moved by kindness. Only physical torture can subdue him a little bit. He is wicked and would like to murder his master. Now, in the execution of the plot to murder Prospero, he shows that much common sense is required and that he showed too. So he also advises his fellow conspirators to how to go about. Caliban has a complete knowledge of the island. He knows everything in the island. The fresh brine pits, the barren, the fertile places, and his long nails can dig up pig nuts as well. His speech reflects his evil nature. Cursing has become a regular habit with him. He calls on toads, beetles, bats, hedgehogs, adders and moles in his curses. Now comes Ariel. Ariel is the spirit of the air. So he is at home on the earth, in fire and on the sea. Equally, he can fly and he can penetrate the earth. He remained imprisoned for 12 years by Sycorax and he was set free by Prospero. That's why he remained indebted to Prospero. He is very playful in nature. He sometimes becomes very moody because Prospero gives him a lot of laborious work, and also the fact is that at the expense of this he is supposed to get freedom by Prospero. So he kept on reminding Prospero about his promise. His music doesn't work on everybody. We will see rather in the further story that it will actually persuade Ferdinand to Prospero's cell. Again, when Antonio and Sebastian were there to murder Alonso, it awakens Gonzalo. So it is a character full of mystery. Now comes Alonso. He's a villain in the play, but he is not as wicked as Antonio and Sebastian are. He had done some crime in his past being engaged in his plot with Antonio, but he struck with deep remorse, which plays a deep contrast from that of Antonio and Sebastian. They remained unrepentant. He loves his son very much. When he came to know about the shipwreck, his woe becomes inconsolable. And when he again comes to know about his son is still alive, he becomes exceedingly happy. So he is, of course, a villain, but not as wicked as Antonio and Sebastian are. And of course, he is the king of Naples, a regal figure. Now comes Ferdinand. Ferdinand is the son of Alonso, who is a king of Naples. So we will see Ferdinand is the most charming of Shakespeare's young men. He absolutely respects the innocence and purity of Miranda. He absolutely appreciates the beauty of Miranda, and he was such a personality who is brave, chivalrous, courageous, and of course is a worshipper of honesty. So he was ready to pay whatever it needs to get Miranda, because he was in terrible love with Miranda at the very first sight of hers. And we will see he is very brave, and during the shipwreck he tries to keep himself calm, and he braves the fury of the waves. And whatever the hardships Prospero was about to give him, he never says no to that. He performed each and every task with full honesty and a lot of valor. And we will see to Miranda. Actually, Miranda says she is not fond of anything much. She says, I have no ambition to see a goodlier man, and that is none other than Ferdinand. So Ferdinand is a perfect choice for Miranda. We will also see Ferdinand loves his father so much, and he becomes gloomy, grieving over the supposed loss of his father. And when he came to know about the reality, he becomes so happy then. Now we will read about Gonzalo. Gonzalo is a lord of the king of Naples, that is Alonso. So he is a good counselor. He gives good advice to others, and he remains calm when the ship was in danger in the very beginning of the play during the shipwreck. He tries to keep himself calm and tacit, and not only that, he is of talkative nature, and he helps Prospero during his banishment, not only by giving him ample provisions, but also the books of magic that valued by Prospero more than his dukedom. So he tries to convey the godliness that is inserted in all of us to come to the forefront and to take out the good qualities in all of us. So that is the character of Gonzalo. Now we will read about a very famous character, that is Antonio. Antonio is the brother of Prospero. He caused Prospero's banishment and usurped his dukedom. So he was really an evil personality. He can go to any extent in order to fulfill his desire. So in dealing with Sebastian, he started using flatterous words, and when Sebastian tries to talk about conscience and its effect on our karma, he very cunningly and with a lot of wit he handled the situation, and he says there is nothing present as such conscience, and conscience shouldn't come between a man and his ambition. So he caused all the evil features and evil characteristics of the story, and he due to him only the plot proceeded towards an evil intention, and he not only that, he also tried to cause death to his own brother Prospero and his daughter Miranda. So now we will know about Sebastian. Sebastian is the brother of Alonso, and he was engaged in the plot to murder Alonso with Antonio. So his crime knows no bound, and he is really violent and can go to any extent to execute his plans. And he does not become repentant at all, and he is quite an evil character. Now we will know about Stefano. So Stefano is King Alonso's butler. His love for wine is implacable and relentless. So he is a true lover of wine, and his drunkenness has exposed him to many comic situations. Now, at a suggestion from Caliban, Stefano begins to think himself as the king of Ireland. He considers Trinculo and Caliban his subjects. He is tempted by Caliban's plot to murder Prospero because he would make Miranda his queen. And the last one, that is Trinculo. Trinculo is the jester of King Alonso, and he is rather a fool by nature. He will make amusing comments throughout the play. He is not much interested in the plot of murdering anybody. Rather, he is very much composed and is very happy with his own self. And when he found Caliban is crouching on the ground, he thought that a sort of strange fish he is. So this type of amusing comment he will be making throughout the play to keep up the entertainment of the play. So these are the characters, the important ones I have discussed, and now we will talk about the plot of the play further. So if you just do remember the characters and their actions, the characteristics of theirs, it will be helpful for you to keep the string patent throughout the play. So that is the motive of sharing all these characters with you all. Now all of you, please let me know whether it was helpful to you. So we'll meet in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a happy day. Bye bye.